Welcome to another week with the Sunrise Tribe. If you're new here, I'm Katie.
And I'm Heidi.
Us, along with our 3 dogs, travel full-time in our van, fishing, trying to find beautiful sights and epic hikes. So if you're into that kind of thing, consider subscribing to our channel and welcome to our van tour.
After a year of living in the van, we're finally getting around to giving you guys a van tour.
Headliner shelf that we installed, link a video here. This is awesome. We hold all of our toiletries, towels, games, our speaker. It's nice to have extra space over here that we are not impeding any space into the van. We also have hung all of our glasses and our shoe rack along it.
So one of my favorite parts of the van is the swivel seat that we installed just on the passenger seat. I usually end up sitting here in the mornings, or if we're in the van hanging out on a rainy day. It's just really comfortable. It's a nice spot to sit. We have some plugs and accessories and stuff right here, and the table can swivel over, so if you're working on a laptop or if we want to play a game inside the van, it's been really convenient. So it can slide forward and back to move closer to the table, or further back if you kind of want to lounge. It's not too terrible about swiveling around. You do have to kind of move the seat back and forth a little bit to get it to swivel, but overall it's been really convenient, and it adds an additional space in the van if we have people over. So we have a table installed. It's on a Lagoon table swivel mount. This is leftover butcher block from our countertop install, so we just decided to go ahead and use it as the table. It's pretty convenient. It swivels in several directions and is pretty good about locking into place. When we first started in the van, we would take it off and store it behind the front seat, but the locks on it work so well that we actually just tuck it back against the wall and lock it down when we're moving the van down.
Hidden behind one of our plants here is our smoke detector. We find it very important. We love this one because it's small and it does work for literally everything. So if you're spraying anything in here, it will alert you. On to my favorite part of the van, the kitchen. So we built our table out of a butcher block, and we absolutely love it. It does need to be conditioned, but I can use it as a cutting board. So I do use the cutting board that we have with our sink for the most part. We installed a 2-burner top, the Ramblewood stove top, and honestly we use usually just the 1 burner. We have 1 pan that we cook out of, and we don't really need to use both at the same time. In here we also have our drawer with all of our silverware and cooking utensils, and underneath is our propane, along with our pot and our Omnia oven and a few other little goodies to cook with. Then we have our sink. Alright, so we have our Rivati sink, and we have a foot pump installed, so everything we use for our water is all through the foot pump. It makes it so we have a lot of control over how much water's coming in and out, and we don't need to use power for it. We repurposed wooden crates for the overhead shelving for the kitchen and for the bedroom. And then we have these awesome little fruit and vegetable bags that we use for all of our produce. And underneath our sink, our fire extinguisher, and then we have a couple crates with some extra dry goods, cleaning supply, our gray water tanks in there, as well as we have a tank of water just for our dogs. And then our fridge is underneath the bed area here, and just a slide out. As well as our pantry. And that just locks into place. And then we have obviously a magnetic strip for all of our spices, and then our beautiful backsplash. We carry a 30-gallon tank that's underneath the bed area in our garage, and we do have another 4 gallons for the dogs, and then we have an emergency 2-gallon roto pack on the back. That's enough water to get us about 7 to 10 days depending on what we're cooking. Alright, so we built this extremely long bench, and it serves as not only our bench but a bunch of storage space. So one thing that we really like about it is that all of the cushions have zippers so we can remove them and wash them. And then we just move the top up here and we have a little locking mechanism here. So we house our backpacks and laundry in one, some clothes and dog supplies in another, and miscellaneous stuff in the third.
You want to talk about the walls and the ceiling real quick?
Yeah, we have walls. It's our 1/2-inch barnwood. And as you can see, we've added a lot of stuff to personalize it for us. Our map of all the places we've been. A photo of Kit, our dog who passed last year, so he can still travel with us. Our anniversary date and lots of photos. And a mirror. Because I gotta look good for YouTube. Just kidding, we don't really care.
Ceiling?
It's a tongue and groove ceiling that we've painted white. That's really all I have to say about it. Onto our bedroom. So we have a fixed bed on aluminum L brackets with 2x8s that we cut down for a platform. It is a little bit smaller than a king-size bed, and in the back we have individual lights for reading and a fan and then cup holders. We built the bed about halfway up or about counter height, so we still have enough space to sit on rainy days and read or hang out and watch movies and not feel like a coffin when we're sleeping. In the bedroom, we also have our upper cabinets for our clothing. These are also recycled crates that we put fronts on, and then we just use bungee straps so when we're going down bumpy roads, all the stuff doesn't fall out. This is my bed, bitches.
You know, fans, like I mentioned earlier, we do have 2 Max Air Fan Deluxe models, so that means they have the rain covers that automatically pop up with them, so you can still use them if it is raining outside. And we have these awesome covers that we got from Explore Outfitters. We have them for all the windows. You can get them in 3-season or 4-season Thinsulate insulation. We have the 4-season ones, and one of the reasons we like them so much is because he puts magnets all the way around, so they just stick into the windows and mold in really easily and attach to the fans really easily, and they can fold up really flat if you want to put them away for storage. So onto our electrical system. We have 200 watts of solar on the roof with 300 amp hours of lithium batteries in the back. We have a 3,000 watt inverter. All the accessories that hook up to it are all Victron. It's probably been a little bit of overkill for us. We were expecting to carry a lot more electrical needs in the van, and over the last year that we've been in it, we've kind of dwindled that list down. We have 12 volt and 120 volt. We have 2 120 volt plugs so we can charge our laptops, cameras, anything like that, and then we have a bunch of USBs all throughout the van that we can charge off of 12 volt along with our 12 volt fridge. We also have 12 volt LED lights that we installed the dimmer switch right here for both the front and the back. We have 2 12 volt Max Air fans. It really helps with the air circulation in the 170. It's a pretty long van, so to be able to get the air circulating through. We also have an additional fan in the back mounted over the beds, which really helps at night. And then this is our Victron multi-control for the inverter, which makes it really convenient. We can just turn it on here. We don't have to crawl into the back of the garage. Or if for whatever reason we're hooked up to shore power, which we rarely are, we can just go ahead and turn it on to charge off of shore power. We also have a Planar 44D diesel heater that is plumbed directly into the diesel tank. The 44D is probably a little bit of overkill. We very rarely turn it up above the halfway mark on the heater. It works really well at heating the space. We are super glad we installed it. Big suggestion if you're thinking about getting into van life, just go ahead and get a diesel heater, whether it's one of the Chinese ones or there's a million others out there on the market. But we're pretty happy with it, so this is our control module for that right here. So for our internet, we run a visible phone, which is going through the lowest model of the WeBoost. I can't think of the model off the top of my head, but it's the cheapest one they have on their website. It just has the magnetic antenna that you can deploy whenever you want. And it's tethered through a Slate travel wireless router, so we can go ahead and have Wi-Fi running through that. The visible phone runs off of the Verizon network, which typically has the best service out of all of them. Our personal phones are through T-Mobile. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but it usually is pretty reliable to get 4G internet through this. I don't know about working through it. I guess if you weren't having to do a lot of things data-wise, you were just reading emails and checking websites, it's usually pretty good to download videos off of Netflix. So for us, it's been okay. It's been worth the money, but we have a lot of areas that we've gone to where we just don't have cell service at all, so we don't have any internet connectivity. So the garage area, we very specifically designed this area because we knew that we were going to have to carry a lot of stuff back here. So like Katie said, we do carry our water storage back here and also our batteries, and pretty much all of the electrical stuff is stored one on each wheel well so that the weight is distributed over the wheels. And then we have just our extra tools. We've got dog food, fishing gear, all kinds of fun stuff back here. We also ran lights back here, so if it's dark and we need to get into something, we have 3 12-volt lights that turn on. They're LEDs, so we can actually see what we're doing. And then both on the sliding door and back here in the garage, we have these bug nets. They're just the magnetic closing bug nets that you can get off of Amazon for super cheap. They're meant for houses, but they come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and they seem to work really, really well for us. On the back of the doors, we have our Prime Design ladder. It's an aluminum ladder. It's made for work trucks, but we want something that we didn't have to drill into the sheet metal to mount. So it just mounts by hooking on the bottom and the top of the doors. We have a video of that you can check out. We also have our Owl Designs rear tire carrier. We went with this specific model, which unfortunately they don't make anymore, because we wanted to be able to mount our roto packs onto the same carrier. And then we have our trasharoo that we could not live without. If you are a nomad of any sort and you do not have a trasharoo, we highly recommend you go online and get one. This thing is a lifesaver. We carry all sorts of extra things in it, and we can fit about 10 to 12 days worth of garbage inside of it before we would have to go and take it to the dump. And then we also have our recovery board, the Ramp brand. I've just had them hanging around for a very long time, so we decided to add them on here. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had to use them yet, but in a 2-wheel drive vehicle, it's always good to have these. Hey, thanks so much for joining us this week. If you enjoyed our van tour video, please consider giving us a like. If you're not already, give a subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to check us out on Instagram for all the in-between time. And until next time, bye.